The question is, Bernoulli's theorem is a consequence of conservation of mass, conservation of energy, conservation of linear momentum, or conservation of angular momentum. So if you remember even vaguely the derivation of Bernoulli's equation, what we consider is that there is a mass of liquid at level h1, then it flows and this mass of liquid reaches level h2, as in the height h2 from a reference level. The velocity here was v1, the velocity here becomes v2, and if the pressure here is p1, then the force acting at this end is going to be p1a1, and here the force acting would be p2a2. Right? This is the basic setting of the derivation of Bernoulli's equation. And now what we do is we calculate the work done by the force, by the pressure force, this force P1 A1 and P2 A2, we calculate the work done by the pressure force, and that should be equal to delta U plus delta K, the change in potential energy plus the change in kinetic energy. So it becomes very clear what is the concept we are using here. Yes, we are using the conservation of energy, and that's how we derive Bernoulli's equation. Alright, so the correct option obviously is going to be option B, conservation of energy. Bernoulli's theorem is a consequence of conservation of energy. The question is, water flows through a frictionless duct with a cross section varying as shown in the figure. The pressure P at points along the axis starting from left end to right end is represented by. Alright, so a fluid is flowing, fluid as in water is flowing through this duct which has variable cross section, and we have to figure out what is the variation of pressure with the horizontal displacement. Alright, so we have to choose which of these graphs would be the correct representation. Alright, so the situation is that water is flowing through a tube which has variable cross section. So we see that from here to here the cross sectional area is constant, then it starts decreasing, and then it again becomes constant. The question is, why should varying area of cross section affect the pressure? And the answer lies in equation of continuity. And what is equation of continuity? It tells me that area of cross section multiplied by the velocity of fluid at that point has to be a constant. Alright, now in this situation, from here to here, the area of cross section is the same, so the velocity of fluid is also going to be the same. But from this point to this point, what we see is that the area of cross section is decreasing. So if area of cross section is decreasing, then velocity has to increase in order to make the product a constant, which means that in this region the velocity of fluid will increase. Okay, so area decreasing, velocity of fluid increasing, but it still does not give me the relationship with pressure. Okay, so to find this relationship, what should we use? Obviously, we should use the Bernoulli's equation, and that is P plus rho gh plus half rho v square is equal to constant. Alright, now if we look here, we are talking about the same horizontal level. It's a horizontal setup. So the height from the reference level is going to be the same. So rho gh is going to be constant, and it is not going to have any effect on pressure. But here what we see is that P plus half rho v square should be a constant. Now, if area of cross section is decreasing, velocity is increasing. If velocity is increasing, then obviously pressure has to decrease to keep the sum a constant, right? So putting all of this together, area of cross section decreases, velocity increases, and hence pressure decreases, right? So from this point up till this point, the pressure is going to remain constant. Then from this point to this point, the pressure is going to reduce, and then from this point to this point, the pressure is going to become constant again, but the pressure here would be lower than the pressure at this point. Alright, now let's have a look at the options, and pretty clearly option A is going to be the right answer. Alright, pressure constant, pressure decreases, then again becomes constant. Alright, that's going to be my right answer. The question is, in the following figure, flow of a liquid through a horizontal pipe has been shown. Three tubes A, B and C are connected to pipe. The radii of the tubes A, B and C at the junction are 2 cm, 1 cm and 2 cm respectively. It can be said that the, and what are the options? Height of the liquid column in tube B is maximum. Height of the liquid in the tube A and B is the same. So basically we have to compare the height of the liquid column in the respective tubes. All right. So this is the situation. Here the radius here is 2 centimeter. The radius here is 1 centimeter and the radius here is 2 centimeter. All right. So at A and at C, the radius of the tube is the same, and at B it is lesser. All right, perfect. And all of this is happening at the same horizontal level. All right, what we have to do is compare the heights of the liquid column. And the heights of the liquid column is a representation of what? It is a representation of the pressures at these points. So if the pressure at these points is higher, then the height of liquid column is going to be higher. So all we need to do is compare the pressure at these 3 points, and for that we have 2 things to help us. What are those 2 things? And those are the only 2 things that we have studied in fluid mechanics. What are those 2 things? One is the equation of continuity and the other is Bernoulli's principle. Okay, so first of all, let's compare points A and B. Let's compare them. So what is happening? The area of cross section at A is greater than the area of cross section at B, correct? Now, equation of continuity tells me that AB is equal to constant. So in case of A and B, at B, the area of cross section is lower. The area of cross section here is lower, which means that the speed is going to be higher. All right. So the speed at B is going to be higher than the speed at A. And obviously, I'm talking about the speed of the fluid. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to Bernoulli's equation. First of all, they are at the same horizontal level. So this rho GH is already a constant. So it's not going to play any role. Now, P plus half rho V square has to be a constant. Now, at B, what did we see? We see that the speed increases at B. So, the pressure has to decrease in order to make the sum a constant, which means that the pressure at B has to be less than the pressure at A. Perfect. So, one relationship we have figured out. So, if pressure at B is less than pressure at A, then naturally, height of the liquid column at B has to be lesser than the height of liquid at column at point A. Done. One relationship done. Now let's compare A and C. Okay, what are we comparing? A and C. And let me clear this out so that you get a clear picture. Okay, at A and C, what is happening? The area of cross section is the same. So A is the same. So there is no reason V should be different. So V is also going to be the same. So the speed of fluid at C is going to be the same as speed of fluid at point A, which means rho GH already neglected. Don't worry about that. So if speed is constant, then pressure also has to be constant, which means pressure at A has to be equal to pressure at C, which means that the height of column at A has to be same as height of column at C. So if I combine all of this together, what do I have? The height at point B, the height of column of liquid at point B is going to be less than HA and equal to HC. All right, this is the final inference that we have derived. Now let's have a look at the options. Okay, height of the liquid column in tube B is maximum. No, it is lower. Not happening. Height of the liquid column in the tube A and B is the same. No, we saw that in B it is lower. Not correct. Height of the liquid in all the 3 tubes is the same. Again, not correct. Height of the liquid in the tubes A and C is the same, and that's exactly what we figured out. Hence, option D is going to be the correct option. The question is, a manometer connected to a closed tap reads 3.5 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. When the valve is opened, the reading of the manometer falls to 3 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. Then the velocity of flow of water is, consider the water pipe to be horizontal. All right. So what is the situation? When this tap is closed, as in no water is flowing, and this end is connected to a manometer, then the pressure comes out to be P1, which is 3.5 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal or Newton per meter square. Now when water starts flowing, there will be some velocity, and then when it is connected to a manometer, the pressure shows as 3 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. What we need to figure out is what is the velocity of the flow of fluid. All right, perfect. So naturally what I'm going to use is the relationship between pressure and velocity is required. So I have to use the Bernoulli's equation. And let's say I'm calling the tap in closed state to be 1, and when tap starts flowing, or when water starts flowing through the tap, I'm calling that 2. So Bernoulli's equation tells me that P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho g H1 has to be equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square plus rho g H2. Is that correct? Okay, now everything is happening at the same horizontal level, which means the heights are going to be same and we can cancel them from both sides. So now P1 minus P2 is going to be equal to half rho V2 square minus V1 square. Alright, so P1 minus P2, we have P1 here, we have P2 here. So P1 minus P2 becomes 0.5 into 10 to the power 5. This is equal to half. The density of water is 10 to the power 3. Now V2 is something we have to find out, and V1 is going to be what? V1 is going to be equal to 0, because 1 is the state when there is no water flowing through the tap. There is no velocity of water, so V1 is going to be 0. Alright, this gives me 1 into 10 to the power 2 is equal to V2 square. Hence, V2 will come out to be 10 meter per second, and that is going to be my answer. Let's have a look at the options. So option B is going to be the correct option. The question is, air is blown through a pipe AB at a rate of 15 liter per minute. The cross-sectional area of the broad portion of the pipe AB is 2 centimeter square and that of the narrow portion is 0.5 centimeter square. Find the approximate value of the difference in water level H, and density of air is 1.32 kg per meter cube. Okay, so there is a horizontal tube and air is flowing through it. Okay, make a note that air is flowing through it. Now if I call this point 1 and if I call this point 2, then the cross-sectional area at points 1 and 2 is different. Hence, the speed at these points is going to be different. Hence, the pressure at these points are also going to be different, and that is going to cause the difference in height of the water column for this AB tube which is attached. Alright, so obviously we have to use the Bernoulli's equation to solve this question. And Bernoulli's equation tells me that P1 plus rho g H1 plus half rho V1 square has to be equal to P2 plus rho g H2 plus half rho V2 square. Alright, now points 1 and 2 are at the same horizontal level, which means rho g H1 and rho g H2 can be cancelled from both the sides. Now here we have to be very careful with density because we have written the equation for air, hence the density here has to be the density of air. Alright. Now if we take pressure to one side, so P1 minus P2 should be equal to half rho A into V2 square minus V1 square. Okay. Now this pressure difference at points 1 and 2 is causing different heights of water column in both the arms. Okay. So can I say that the pressure difference at point 1 and 2 is equal to the pressure due to this difference in height of water column? Naturally. So this should be equal to rho of water into GH. Again, now here the pressure difference is manifested as the height difference in the water column. So density here has to be equal to the density of water. So rho of water into G into H has to be equal to half into rho air into V2 square minus V1 square. Okay, so we know what is rho water, we know G, we know rho air. What we don't know is V2 and V1. If we know V2 and V1, then H can be found out easily. So our job is to find V2 and V1. So what is the other equation that we know in fluid mechanics? Obviously it is equation of continuity. So can I say that the volumetric flow rate which is given to me will be equal to A1 V1? Alright. So V1 is equal to the volumetric flow rate divided by A1. So what is volumetric flow rate? 15 liter per minute. Again, be careful, we should convert this into SI units. So liter I can convert it as 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube. And then in the denominator we have minute, so let's convert that to 60 second. Alright, so this is the volumetric flow rate divided by area of cross section, which is 2 centimeter square. So I'm multiplying it by 10 to the power minus 4 to make it meter square. Alright, what are we left with? So this 0 and this 10 to the power minus 3 and this 10 to the power minus 3 and 10 to the power minus 3 gone. So 3, 2, 3, 5. I am left with 5 by 4 meter per second. So V1 is 5 by 4 meter per second. Alright, what we also need to find out is V2. How can we find that out? Not very difficult. So we know that A1 V1 has to be equal to A2 V2. Okay, so from here V2 is going to be A1 upon A2 into V1. Okay, so A1 is what? A1 is 4 centimeter square divided by A2 is, sorry, A1 is 2 centimeter square divided by 0.5 centimeter square. So I'm not worrying about the units because they'll get cancelled. Multiplied by V1, which is 5 by 4. So this is going to come out to be 5 meter per second. So I figured out what is V1, I figured out what is V2, and the equation that we had arrived at was rho of water into G into H is equal to half into rho of air into V2 square minus V1 square. Now all we have to do is do the substitution. So here H becomes 1 upon 2 rho water G. Then numerator we have rho air into V2 square minus V1 square. Now let's substitute the values. So H is equal to 1 upon 2 into, so rho water is 10 to the power 3, G is 10, rho air is 1.32, and then V2 is 5, so 5 square minus V1 is 5 by 4, so 5 by 4 square. Alright, so here we are going to be left with 1 upon 2 into 10 to the power 4 and numerator we have 1.32. Now here this is going to be 5 square minus 5 square upon 16. So 5 square we can take it out. So this becomes 25. In the bracket we'll have 1 minus 1 upon 16. So this is going to give me 15 upon 16. Okay, so this 2 and this gives me 0.66. Now here I can do a little bit of cheating, because I can manipulate the values a little bit because I need to find out the approximate answer only. So this I can take it as 0.64 because I have 16 in the denominator. So if we cancel this, we will have 0.04. So this 25 and 0.04 is going to give me 1. What is it that I am finally left with? I am left with 15 upon 10 to the power 4 meter. Okay, but I have to give answer in millimeter. So I multiplied this by 10 to the power 3. Now what am I left with? Finally, I am left with H is equal to 1.5 millimeter, and that is going to be my answer. Alright, let's have a look at the options. So option B is going to be the correct option.